Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to Living in the Limelight, an Anton Scholl and Friends podcast where we discuss music from the artist and fan perspective. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. Welcome to another episode of Living in the Limelight. I'm your host, Anton Scholl, and with me today, very special guest, somebody very well known to Arizona, Mr. Scott Rowe. Thank you for joining us today.
You got it. Not a problem.
All right. Wow, you go back a long way kind of in the history of Arizona and its music. So I'm glad, happy that you took the time to be on the show with us. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. And, you know, I've done some shows with you and stuff that you set up for me. So I certainly appreciate that. But I want to talk about a little bit of everything if you're ready to go.
Yeah, whenever. Ask away.
Well, you know, I think when people hear, you know, of Scott Rowe, obviously, you know, aside from now with your original music and stuff coming out, and of course, all the work that you do for bands out there, setting them up for shows and, you know, really trying to get the bands out there, which certainly everybody appreciates. But first, I kind of want to go all the way back to the Alice Cooper tribute, which you've done for 30 years, I believe it's been. Tell me about tell us about that story and the beginnings of it, how it came about, and then you kind of passing the torch from there.
Wow, no, it just oh God. I retired it October of Halloween of 2020 on his 30th anniversary, basically. Also on my dad's birthday too. Is when I retired it. I thought that'd be a good day to do it, you know, because officially I came here to Arizona, August of 1990. Tribute bands here didn't even exist yet. I mean, it was still cover bands, you know, and whatever was going on at the time. I mean. Hell, I just missed the Rockers, that club that closed. I heard there a lot of stories, but the Mason Jar, that's where I got my start, basically. That's where, like everybody seems to get their start at. Legendary Mason Jar, which is a Rebel Lounge now. But the thing is, I started, you know, performing in lip sync shows in the 80s. Remember the Putting on the Hits, that TV show?
Yeah.
I almost got on there a couple of times. I did auditions and everything. But I just used to do different characters. I mean, that's how I started performing, was doing that. Oh man, those were fun times. So, you know, I used to do like different characters, and I did Ozzy. I did a pretty cool Ozzy, I think I remember. Did that, and I had a Angus Young routine I did with a friend of mine. We did that, an AC/DC. I had the ball cap with the horns and the schoolboy outfit and all that. You know, didn't really know how to play guitar, but I just knew just to kind of mimic, you know. And we'd always win a lot, which shook me all night long. That song, let me tell you, there's something about that song, man. But, and even today, I mean, what a great song it is. Stands the test of time, you know.
Oh, gets people going for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, you just listen to that beginning of it, you know, and back then in like it was 85, 86 when I was doing the lip sync shows, when I was creating all those, and a little bit later on, it just wow. I mean, you go up against a lot of, I mean, there's people who really took it seriously. I remember when I really perfected my character around 1989. The Alice Cooper, you know, I used to wear a wig and a top hat until I got my hair out long and stuff, but I would never really win with like Nice Guy or School's Out or anything like that. And once I really started really getting that look, I remember with the help of my ex-wife, Wilma, I have to give her credit there. She helped me with some outfits and stuff. And I really studied the makeup and what his look and everything. And I decided I'm going to go do a ballad, you know. I Never Cry. And that's where my acting thing, and I won. I won first place with a ballad. And I was like, who is a friggin' no? A ballad. and I beat the best that night too. I remember. God, there was some. I mean, there was people that took it serious. I mean, there was a girl that did Bette Midler. She's been on putting on hits. And she looked just like Bette Midler. Brenda Miller's her name. I mean, she was hard to beat. I mean, just because she did that routine from the Rose. You know, when a man loves a woman. That was like that monologue. They would let her do the whole monologue thing and then the song. And it was just hard to beat that. I mean, it's just hard to beat that. Oh, there's William Romeo who did Prince. He was too tall to do Prince, but he was good. He was more like kind of like a male stripper, which he ended up doing, and went on to be an American Gladiator.
Oh,
You know?
wow.
Yeah, William Romeo. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I can't think of his name right offhand. It escapes me, but yeah, he was one of the American Gladiators. Still works in Hollywood as an extra and does all kinds of stuff there. You know, he sounds really good. William Romeo has. Yeah, I mean, I still kind of contact. We have a Facebook Messenger where some of the soul lip sync artists still, you know, kind of
Wow.
congregate and talk. Yeah, but from the '80s,
So that was
'cause
the
it was
very
a big,
beginning.
yeah, it
But
was a
then
big
how did all the
scene.
props? What about all the props? Your show had everything, all of the
Oh yeah,
props.
but in the early '90s when, well, see, that's where I transitioned. When I came here in '90, it was really by accident. I was on my way to Hollywood actually. You see, and I figure I'll stop here in Phoenix. My ex-wife and I, Wilma, we'll stop here in Phoenix, you know, and we'll work some strip clubs, get some more money going, you know. And this happened to be Alice's hometown, basically, and which I knew, you know. And somehow, like I said, we ended up pretty much getting stuck here. And that's a lot of people. They're on their way somewhere, and they stop off here, and they get stuck
Yeah,
here.
right.
That's what it was. It had nothing to do with really with Alice. It was just a coincidence. I ended
Yeah.
up here creating my show. You know, he was doing the state fair that year too, October of 1990. I remember. And this is where I was. Well, I mean, I was just doing. I did some comedy clubs and just a couple little parents here just doing routines of my Alice thing. You know, they really liked me. I got invited back. I would do a routine of Cold Ethel with the blow up doll. You know. Oh yeah, no, but I had to look down. That's why, you know, I started forming a vaudeville show, and my first agent was Jack Curtis. That's a really good one there. Jack Curtis is the one that started Alice Cooper off, basically. When
Oh,
there were, well, when they first came to me as the Earwigs out of high school, out of Cortez High. That's where the band started. Well, three of them: Glenn, Dennis, and Alice or Vince. You know, and they had John Tatum and Mike John Spear. They were the Earwigs, and they go to audition at the VIP lounge. And Jack, you know, he liked them. He said, "Oh, you guys are good, but I don't like the name. If you change your name to say like to the Spiders, then I can use you guys." And they're like, "No, no, no, no." They're like, you know, yeah. About 2, 3 weeks later, they call Jack. Hey, we'll go ahead. We'll go as the Spiders. Yeah, and they came to the house band in the VIP lounge. Came one of the most popular bands in the circuit here. I wish I would have around in the '60s in this music scene. Incredible. I worked with Skip Ladd. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm subject to it, but he had the 20th Century Zoo. They were a band that were signed and on their way, but after that one little tour they did, Skip got drafted, and so did the singer. And it's kind of ended that band. You know, I got to
wow.
work with him. That's another story. No, but I would love to have been around. But that's where they evolved. Jack Curtis was my first agent. You know, because when somebody pointed, I met him one night. I remember it was like September, and there was some lookalike lip sync thing going on. And it's like toward the end of this it was going out. Karaoke was coming in. I remember, but there were still some Survivor lookalikes, and then they tell about Jack Curtis was representing them because there was more things that he was doing with them. He was sending them out on just, you know, openings or parades or, well, just all kinds of weird, you know, things.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, celebrity lookalikes. That's what Jack Curtis was doing, and that's when I met him, and he signed me. And you know, he gave me a few jobs. I remember when the Purple Palace opened, whatever they call it now, the Footprint Center. I got hired to be Alice and stand around, shake people's hands, you know, with a Garth Brooks look like I remember.
Oh,
Oh yeah, but he had a little look like he had Elizabeth Taylor, Burt Reynolds. We did a big show. I remember in Scottsdale. I remember that was pretty cool. I mean, it was fun, but I was the only one that was really out putting a show together. I had like a
Hmm.
vaudeville thing. I was just myself, and I got a dancer and I got an actor, and I did like a 30-minute production thing. And my first one was Thanksgiving 1990 at the Mason Jar, you know, and I was the opening act. So I had the 30 minutes to do what I think there was a band before me, and then me, and then the headliner or something, because that's what started. Because I was like a good little break in between, because I would come on and I would lip sync at first, but you would think, and I mean, the first one I did, Franco ran the lights. People liked it. People started applauding, and I was like, oh, you know. And then when I get off stage, Franco goes, Rob Halford of Judas Priest over there. He wants to talk to you. And I go, get out. He goes, yeah, he's right over there. And I was like, oh my God, there he is. He waves me over, and I was just like a little kid, I felt. Um, I said, one day I want to get a band, It says, mate, you don't need a band. I liked what you did, and your acting, the theatrics, the whole bit. It was kind of weird that 6 months later, he's on tour with Alice doing the Operation Rock and Roll. I wonder if I gave him an idea, because he just lives down the road from Alice. That was kind of strange that them hooked up later.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But that was really cool, because I had a couple of skeptics, but you know what? But Franco liked it, and I ended up doing another one. I did a show on Alice's birthday on a Monday night. I remember on February 4th of 1991. That place was packed. I mean, wall to wall people. Myself and a band called SX. I did my 30-minute presentation, spiced it up a little bit. Um, Good job. I mean, a lot of people seem to like it, and that's where I ended up meeting Tim Burnham and his girlfriend Abby, who became my dancer. She was really hot. I mean, and then Beth came in. Tim later on would be my lead guitar player, but started out as my light guy. But we had a vaudeville show. I had these two hot dancers, Abby and Beth. Oh my God, they were with the G strings the whole bit, but and they do these routines. We were a little more adult orientated Alice Cooper show. So, but that's why people would come see us. Not just me, but they come see the girls. And it worked both ways, because those guys that come see the dance, they go to the clubs that they work at. They were actual strippers. I used to put on these big spectacles, in the first year or so. One time I at the Library Cafe I was a DJ there also. Oh, it's always promoting. That's why I get big. On a Monday night, I had the Library Cafe fucking packed. I had 6 dancers. They all come crawling out of the woodwork. Because I had a big enough stage there. The Library Cafe, if you remember, it was on Indian School in Central. Oh my God, what a great place. That was a spectacle, man. I did this whole routine of Go to Hell, and Wishery here, and Chase. I mean, it's just so much hard to describe. There was so much going on. Yes, I had the gallows. They would hang me by the neck. I even had a guillotine. It took 2 trucks to get my show. Back in early, I had to get there early in the club, like 3 o'clock, just to load in the props before the band would get there.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Back in the day, you ask anybody. I did the first tribute fest, the very first ones. Oh yeah, the first one was August of 1992 at the Library Cafe, where myself I had a band called Chaos was backing me up at the time. That was one of my first bands, actual band, where I learned how to sing. Couldn't sing for shit, but I had something suggestive, But I was, that's where you got to learn somewhere, right? And Dave Cornwell, he had his band called Big Jim and the Twins. They turned into Freewell. They're celebrating their 30th anniversary now. I started before them. I had the band before they did, but the tribute band. They were Big Jim and the Twins. They were playing the Library Cafe one night. And they were playing Rush, and Dave kind of reminded me of Geddy. Had this voice and everything. He said, "You guys should do a Rush tribute." And because I was just getting my stuff together too, and we actually did. Their first show was at Desperados, like a month before we did the Big Monsters tribute that I put together, and we also had Whisper Alley. They did AC/DC because they did a lot of covers, Fred Robinson did a Stevie Ray Vaughan tribute that was really cool. There's one other one, I think. Oh yeah, the first the Nirvana Monkey Wrench. His band was real incredible alternative rock band. They did a Nirvana tribute. This is 1992. Nirvana was still around.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
know that's kind of funny. I still have the advertisement for it. I share it now and then. You'll see it on the advertisements and Future Legends Nirvana. Like who would know 2 years later from that point? That's kind of weird. But it was pretty cool. I mean, that was the first tribute fest. It was the tribute to the Monsters of Rock. And we did the second one at the Temporary Insanity. That was over on Glendale. That was it's a church now. It's still there, but it's over on 27th Avenue and Glendale, that area right there.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a great stage they had there, man. Oh my God! I mean, I remember we did a penny night on a Tuesday night, and there was one side of the club where they were going to just change them. They were just going to tear it up anyways. Well, we tore that. That was madness there. I remember. I'll never forget that night.
Wow.
Wow! But they moved into the bigger area, the big stage, made it brand new. The drum riser was stupidly high. I mean, I got jammed to get a ladder to get up to it. Seemed like it, but but it was cool though. We did the second one there, and Flotsam and Jetsam were there in attendance. The whole band.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. Eric AK ran my lights, and Jason Rainey of Sacred Reich was our sound man for the whole. I had my uncle's asshole. They did a Ramon Sex Pistol tribute. Then Dave Cornwell, they did the Rush tribute, and then my Alice tribute. That's why A.D. Adams was playing drums for me too. I had a really good band behind me that time, and Scott Gamsey on guitar. Shit, that was a good lineup there. I remember. But I remember during Dave's set, somebody yelled out "last song," and I'm not sure who the fuck did that. Next thing you know, I got all of Flotsam and Jetsam surrounding me out back of the Temporary Insanity because they're going to play longer, aren't they? And I'm like, yeah. I don't know who said that last song. 30 minutes and they said something. I don't know who did that, But I got Flotsam and Jetsam. I mean, deep all around me. I mean, Kelly was still in the band. I mean, that lineup, the lineup, And thing is, Dave Cornwell grew up with Eric AK on them. So Steve's running their lights for him. Jason Rainey, he ran sound whenever he could, anywhere we wasn't playing for Sacred Reich. Hell, he ran sound with my Alice tribute for quite a few times. Bless his heart in heaven. But God, there's just so many stories. I mean, but that was the second Monsters of Rock tribute at Temporary Insanity. The third one was at their Electric Ballroom in 1994. Yeah, that was a good one. You can see video of that one. Michael Bruce from the Alice Cooper Band was playing with us that night. He played later in the set, but so there was really no video of him. But there's video of him backstage. There, Joel Samuel shot some, and there's some really good videos. That was a good lineup I had then too. I remember on that one. That was a pretty cool place. Though, in an Electric Ballroom. That's I pass by it every day when I go to work. It's a big daycare center, I think, or something like that now. But God, a lot of bands played there. I remember it used to be after the Gold Rush when I first moved here. Then it came to Electric Ballroom.
Well, so now let's go to the UN
so many
now.
Stories.
I know, right? Well,
you got my mind just going boom. Right. With my Alice tribute, it set a staple. I've been called the father of copycat rock here in Arizona because I started the tribute band scene. I can say that it didn't exist. Sure. Started as a vaudeville show. I basically to a tribute, yeah. Because see, I was out doing a lot of the bands. People would be leaving after I played my vaudeville show, my dancers and all that. How are you going to follow that show? The bands were getting pissed off at me. So they were throwing a challenge. Why don't you get a band? Wow. But I came to headliner then, basically. So headliners used to go on at 11:30 back in the day, back in the old days. Now it's like 11:30. You want to get the fuck out,
Yeah, exactly.
It's weird.
Well, then what led to the timing? 30 years, Halloween. what led to the timing of kind of passing the torch over to somebody else to do it from there?
Well, what I look at it this way, my first show, my first official was Thanksgiving in 1990. Okay.
Okay.
So I figured October 2020, that's almost 30 years from the, well, I was doing little skits of that before that when I was, so I figured I'll just retire it on my dad's birthday, Halloween,
Hmm.
2020. And my mom came, my mom, 80, at the time, 80, she just turned 88 the other day. My mom came, 86 years old, you know, she had a stroller and everything coming, but she was there, sat right in the front row because COVID was still going on. So everybody had to still wear masks when you got up if you weren't sitting down, yada yada. Hey,
Yeah.
it would have been Cactus Jack's probably would have been packed out the door at my last show if it wasn't for all that. I mean, it's
Hmm.
still a good crowd, but it was so controlled,
Right.
I mean, it was just weird, and you know, the stage, we had they had the tables. I had the front table right in front of the stage, of course, but tables all around the dance floor, which is they never do that. But during the COVID, everything was so restrictive. Everything was just weird, But still, it was a good show. I mean, what it was. I mean, it's just the last couple of years trying to do the Alice. It was showing I really didn't really want to do it no more, because I
Hmm.
was really trying to develop who I really was with Scott Rowe and Redrum, which I developed that in our 6 year anniversary basically is coming up March when I got Matt Taylor and Rob Irwin. And we saw I was going to be my solo thing, Scott Rowe and Redrum,
Yeah.
coming off of, we did that for a few years and I decided to be just Redrum. That's another story we'll get to. But anyways, so once I had to get the band and everything with the Alice tribute, I started headlining, and I mean, I had a lot of press, I have to say. I had a really good show, a good band, and A.D. Adams really ghosted my voice a lot. He really helped me. I learned a lot from A.D. Adams, back in the early days. Some great stories I can tell you. you know, um, God, every publication done something on me. The New Times. I was on the front page of the Phoenix Gazette. I wonder if I could see here. I wonder if you could show it right there. The Phoenix Gazette.
Oh, sure.
That's the front page of the Phoenix Gazette, which the Arizona Gazette Republic bought it out right afterwards. So, but it was a major newspaper. That was like Twilight Zone that day. I did the Alice Cooper birthday show at the Library Cafe. It was on Alice's birthday. It was Wednesday night or something like that. But Michael Bruce was playing with me. He did the whole show, and we sent out press releases and stuff. We see who might bite. And they did. The Gazette, Phoenix Gazette did. They sent out a photographer and somebody to interview me and everything. They interviewed myself and Michael and all that. I didn't really think too much about it. And I thought, cool, All right. And then the next morning, waking up, and my ex-wife, Wilma, she comes in messing with me. She says, "Oh man, they gave you a bad review. Oh my God, this is." I go, what are you talking about?" And then she goes, "Look," like that, and just flashes out the front page, and I went, "Oh my God!" My eyes just popped out of the
Wow.
socket. That's
Sure.
me on the front page, and that snake I bought from Kerry King of Slayer. That's Toby. That snake I got. That's in the picture of me. I
Hmm.
was just tripping out, and what a great! It was awesome. I mean, boy, that was a game changer. Let me tell you, because a lot of shows after that, I mean, I had I had a great following. You know,
Yeah.
I'd have security sometimes at my shows. It's really weird. No, because I've had a few people thinking I was really Alice, and I'm not. And when they sign up, and when I tell them I'm not, they get like, some got a little mad physically, almost. It seemed like
Hmm.
it. You know,
Sure.
yeah, and they think I'm bullshitting them. Think like I'm too good for them. It's just weird. Some guy was really drunk one night. Oh man, it was. So I had to get security back in during it. That was weird. You know. But I ended up leaving here in '95, mid '95, and I signed with Flashback Entertainment, did a tour with them with another band, which wasn't as good as this one here. I remember. But you live and learn, right? And I just kind of wandered around and did it here and there. Came back here for a little bit. Did some really good shows. I mean, at the naval base, well, that was a huge one there. I remember. And then I left for a little bit, and I came back again. I came back like been here on and off since, like I say, August of '90. Left a couple
Mhm.
times, come back, but Phoenix always seems to draw me back. It always does. I
Yeah.
did my big comeback show 2012 at the Club Red. My Alice tribute. Boy, that was a good one, boy. I mean, good band. Bless the drummer just recently passed, Alex Luce. Bless
Okay.
his soul. Yeah, he
Hmm.
played for ACDC at one time too.
Really?
Great drummer. Just recently passed. I'm just
Hmm.
like, wow, I can't believe. Wow, he's wasn't that. Yeah, wow. I just a lot of musicians in passing lately that I know, and it's
Right.
Mm. Sorry, I
Yeah.
just got a little, just listen. But that was my big comeback show. I did that. I remember my late wife really helped me out with that one. She really promoted that show, that Club Red show, October 19th, 2012,
Hmm.
which that's a neat little date because that's when we would get married on 2019, to October 19th, 2019.
Oh,
Isn't that neat?
wow. Yeah.
The 19 is a significant number because, yeah, that's when we got married, October 19th. And like I say, my comeback show was that date. Uh, Also, that date is Glenn Buxton's passing of the Alice Cooper Band because we have a tie-in. I got a tie-in with Glenn.
Hmm.
I was with Glenn before he died.
Oh,
Also, 19, uh, December 19th is when my late wife passed away in my arms, 2021. A lot of 19s. And,
yeah.
November 19th, that's when we met for the first time in 1993, November 19th. And,
Hmm.
and another thing was really
Yeah.
weird. Uh, Almost to the damn day, I did that comeback. I did my show. My band Redrumed just played the Rebel Lounge.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sure.
boy, weird. That
Yeah.
19. It's just a weird number. How that, a lot of
Right.
19s. You know.
Well, then how did you go about with all of that going on and all of the theatrics and everything that you have going on? Now you have to go through the whole process of trying to find a replacement. So, who to pass the torch to? So, what was
Well,
that about, and how did that happen?
oh yeah, you're talking about Tulin, Howie.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what happened? How that came when my wife passed. Okay, uh, I was going to do a memorial concert. And I really don't want to play the role anymore. But I thought, you know what? What if I get somebody and get the last band, the great lineup? That's the last band that did my show, my last few years of the tribute. Uh, I thought, who could I get, to do it for the memorial concert? You know, and it's only like 6 songs. I figured it'd be easy. And I started thinking, I couldn't really think of anybody really
Well,
except Toolin. You know, I thought, why not have a girl do it? You know,
yeah.
and I think she could pull off a female. Because I know Alice himself would really like to see Calico take the character and move on. I think she probably will. Right now she got her other band, Beasto Blanco, but anyway, maybe they'll take heed to what I'm doing with Tulin every now and then because we've done like 3 shows so far. It's just an every now and then I can pull it out, and I can direct somebody, which is kind of cool. And she did a good job. I mean, on the first one, the memorial, she still had to read a little teleprompter, but it was so new. But you know,
Mhm.
and then we did the second one with Michael Bruce in attendance for the whole show. No pressure there. He comes
Yeah. Right.
backstage right before they're all going on. I say, "Hey guys, here's Michael Bruce. I got to roll those songs," and that's the only set they were doing was only his songs.
Oh,
At that, yeah,
wow.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
She she was really. I did an interview with her now, and
Yeah,
she's of course from Empire of Desire.
yeah,
But she was saying, yeah, she didn't know any Alice Cooper in the beginning, but
yeah,
boy, when she started listening to it, she just fell in love with it, and then
yeah,
she just fell in love with the character.
yeah,
And it was such great fun for her to be theatrical like that on stage, kind of hide
yeah,
behind the persona, and do
yeah,
the show. And she really got into it.
yeah, and a little bit will kind of rub off on her original persona too, as far as just get the theater, just being a front
Right.
person. It really does. I mean, because I mean, I have a lot more influences than Alice, but of course, that's what got me really started. I mean,
Yeah.
now, but the thing is, I had to go as far away. It took me a few years. When I retired it in 2020, you know, I was still going. I was still wearing a makeup that I was wearing, my own design, a silver tongue devil character I was going by.
Yeah.
And I was doing that, and then one day I remember going to a gig and I forgot all my makeup, and I was like, yeah, that fuck it, whatever. I thought to myself, wow, that was cool. No runny eyeliner or makeup going to my eyes and this and
Yeah.
that. Except for hair still going all in me. I get about the hair part. We'll come to that, but no. But thing is, I started re-examining myself, and I was like, "What the fuck am I doing?" you
Yeah.
know, and the songs, we're still doing songs I have from 12-inch tacks. Just it's just started out as I want to be heavy metal band. We're like hard rock. And then I started just re-examining about 2 years ago, so a little more than that. I started re-examining the whole bit what we're doing now. You know,
Mhm.
um, you know, and I'm glad. I'm glad.
And now
And like I said,
you're doing Red Rum now, pretty much exclusively.
yep.
I know that you're still doing a lot of bands and doing a lot of promoting of other bands
Well,
like
yeah,
from
well,
Gypsies
I
and
still
stuff.
book bands. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't book as like I usually because I live way out here in BFE East Mesa. you know. So a lot of the original shows I do with my band's more or less involved in other venues. And at Gypsy's Roadhouse, I book more cover bands because I really don't have to be there.
Mhm.
I
Oh, okay.
really don't.
Yeah.
No. You know, and don't get me wrong. I don't have any. I don't want to make anybody mad or anything, but cover bands I just not really too much into.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, and even a lot of the old music I used to listen to, I'm not much into anymore.
Mhm.
I started growing. I started different. I said I had to get as far away from Alice Cooper as I could. That's what I started re-examining things. And
Yeah.
if I want to be the heavy band I am, I started looking at the players. I have Matt Taylor. The guy is a thrash metal drummer. What am I doing here? I need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got Rob Irwin. I got the best bass player around. I got the best rhythm section. And then I got Doc Tarantino that came to me almost 4 years ago now. Yeah, 4 years ago now. He developed, and he's our metal, he's our young guy, Boy, I tell you. And when we started working with Tommy, and we really, I mean, Tommy's been in a lot of bands, a lot of name bands too. You, you
So you
know,
talking about Tommy Gibbons?
yeah, he knows metal. Tommy knows metal. That's why it's his alley to what we were going to do because we have elements of death metal, punk, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, God, even the hardcore now. I mean, we've thrown all, but there is a groove to it. All our music. I mean, you can understand the vocals, because I found a a knack of doing some really deep growls. I have my own
Mhm.
growls, and I have my grind. I sing more of a grind when I sing, because I had to get away from Alice Cooper because of some of the early stuff. That's not like that's
Yeah.
got to go. That has to go. And Alice does not growl, you know, you know. And I always love the heavier side of metal,
Sure.
Sepultura, Pantera, Slayer, Obituary. uh, Krepta. I just saw them the other night. I met them. I mean, I had Fernanda right in my face. No barriers or nothing, man. Oh my God, they're the best female metal band, death metal band. What period? Those girls are good, and very humble, which I like to,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're so nice. I mean, they're like angels. But when they get on that stage, they turn into demons.
There you go. Right.
Woo! But I like the power, you
Yeah.
know. But what I try to do is with some of the death metal, we have a song called "Cannibalistic Corpse Grinder," and it's about a serial killer, uh, nonfiction and fiction. I combine. His name is Eddie Lecter. I have a lot of fun with it. But I don't go where you can understand me. I mean, I try to go where you can understand me.
Mhm.
You know. But I'm still, because there's some bands out there that they'll open up their mouths, and I'm like, oh, I can't understand what they said. But the
Right.
music's really good. But what if they can understand that growl?
Mm.
That's what I'm basically doing. When you listen to my stuff, you hear it. And I do sing, but I also growl too. But I also grind. I have more of a grind. But
Mhm.
like when I do downstairs to Hades, I mean downstairs to Hades. You understand that? But there's
Yep.
some bands will just go. It's just what they say.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
But
where's your music at? Where can everybody find it? I know you said you're on Spotify,
yeah,
YouTube.
YouTube,
Where can
Apple,
everybody find you at?
Spotify, Apple, YouTube. There's SoundCloud. Uh, and I think there's some other platforms too. Our label is Self Made Records LLC. They've been putting our stuff out worldwide, and they put out "Pursuit of Vikings," our cover of Amon Amarth. They put that out worldwide under Earache Records. We're not signed to Earache Records. We're signed to Self Made Records LLC, who releases music digitally under Earache Records.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because when we first signed with Selfmade, some people go, "Oh, you're with Earache." No, 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 we're not with Earache. They just
Yeah.
release they just use their platform, you know.
Yeah.
But still, they got all our shirts and CDs and stuff like that. They got some more merch they're getting us too. So and they've got some gigs they're getting us too. So it's
Hmm.
gonna, we're gonna see what works, how it works with them. See what goes with.
Right.
They are a label out of Kentucky, and there's another band I think here in Arizona that's signed to them called the Crown Syndicate. So, and no matter where we playing in Albuquerque with those guys in June 29th in Albuquerque at the Jam Spot. Mhm.
So, what are the recording plans? You said you're going to be doing some more recording with Tommy in the
Oh yeah,
studio.
I wouldn't use anybody else. Uh, you know, he might not work for somebody else, but he might work for them. Not just St. Tom, any producer. I
Yeah.
think every band needs a producer, a good producer. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think once you find it, stick with it. Because I see
Right.
some bands will use this one, use this one, use this one, but then it just, I don't know, it kind of, I don't know. It works maybe for some artists, but I don't know. Maybe they're looking for a fresh perspective. But I think I look at it this way: if the machine is working, why try to fix it if it's not broken? You
True.
know, you know. I call Tommy Gibbons our Bob Ezrin. You
Oh,
know,
okay. It's quite a
well, because
compliment.
look at
Yeah.
those albums that he did with Alice Cooper. You know, and when they did not use him on Muscle of Love, the production was totally different. You
Yeah.
know, that's
Yeah.
another whole story behind that. But you could tell anything that Bob Ezrin does, because he also works with Alice on some of the solo stuff too. And even Alice will use different producers because Alice will, oh, Bob won't mind. I'll just use this.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of, there's something when Bob's not behind the control, you know, I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Mhm.
And so it's like, because I've worked with other people before. It's just, they just didn't know the metal or just what I was after.
Yeah.
But then Tommy Gibbons, I seen I seen him out doing other bands and stuff like that. People were talking about him, and then just kind of on the outside looking in. And I thought, you know what, let me get a hold of him. And we started talking, and I told him what I want. And he said
Yeah.
that's right up his alley. And I said okay. And so we went in and we did the first song, Exacerbated, and knocked it right out of the park and made us the band. I mean, you want to know what kind of band we are? Listen to Exacerbated. It's all there, you know. I mean, it's about Dorothy Kilgallen, who was taken out back in 1965. If her notes were published from Random House, if they would have found them, history would have changed. Oh, Robert F. Kennedy would have went to prison, big time, for the death of Marilyn Monroe. Uh, all kinds of shit. She had intimate uh, interviews with Jack Ruby before he was taken out. There's everything. I mean, she was friends with Marilyn Monroe. She knew everybody in Hollywood. I mean, you look at the night before she died, she was on What's My Line. You know, didn't look like she
That's
wanted
right. I
to
know the
do
name from, yeah.
it. Yeah, and the next day they found her dead on November 8th, 1965. Alcohol and meds, just like Marilyn Monroe. Alcohol and meds. You know,
Yep.
and her notes come up missing. You know, all her notes, everything. You know, there's a lot about Dorothy Kilgallen. It's just weird how I got attracted to that subject. You know, I just remember on YouTube. I've always been fascinated with the JFK trial. You know, because she covered that. And then once this guy Mark Shaw was doing seminars about her and the book he wrote, The Reporter Who Knew Too Much, and I just started drawing me in, and
Sure.
it just, oh my God! Next thing you know, I'm writing this song, and I looked up one of her things, and it said exacerbated alcohol and meds, which exacerbated means brought on by, you know. So that's what that
Oh,
term means, exacerbated, you know. And I thought, well, what a great title would be great for this song, you know. You know,
sure.
and the Dorothy Kilgallen page, they liked it, you know.
Oh, that's good.
You know, they
Well, it
should make a
certainly makes for
movie.
good content in a song and lyrical. You know, that would be
Tells
great.
a
I mean,
story,
yeah,
you
anything
know.
that tells a story.
Yeah, well, that's what a lot of my songs do.
Mhm,
They tell stories. What I write, you know.
mhm.
God, I mean, this new one we're getting ready to do. Well, the new old one, I should say, Lunar Spell Terrorizer. Uh, that's about Lon Chaney Jr., who
Oh,
played the
okay.
Wolfman.
Sure.
And we did a version like 3 years ago with Eamon, and Eamon did a good job, but the person behind the control board just, I don't know, just didn't seem like she wanted to be there. You know, I pick
Mm,
up on vibes. You know, and it was just so. Uh, we had problems, but I had to conduct the drums while she couldn't see or something. It was just once we got the drum tracks down, we were good. But it was just things weren't running right in that studio too. You know, I remember,
mm.
and we had to work what we had to work with. You know, and it came out okay. I just think the drums need to be more meatier. I mean, and the guitar solo was just like sounds like I don't know, just. But I mean, or it's not a bad tune. But it could be, you know. But now with Tommy, we're gonna I mean, we're gonna just re-record the whole thing. I mean, because it went through some changes, and we hadn't done it in a couple of years, you know. And since we've been recording with Tommy, I'm thinking, hey, why don't we just redo this, you know? And I tell you, I think we're gonna knock it out of the park because when we did it live a few weeks ago at the Heavy Metal Chili Cook-Off, and boy, I mean, it gets a reaction, you know, because you get everybody because it's you hear it when you howl. There's a howls in there, you know, and people just love to howl.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And it's a weird. Um, I don't know if I want to call it a song or I don't know. It's just there's all the rules are pretty much broken in this, pretty much, you know.
Mhm.
I take the Wolfman poem. Even a man who is pure in heart says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the moon is full and bright. I use that. Nobody, and I'm really surprised. I did a lot of research. No metal band or anybody ever used it in a song or anything.
Wow.
Nobody. Yeah, you know, I do it and then I repeat it later in more and more fierce, you know. but it starts, and then when I did more research on it, it's not in the werewolf folklore at all. It was written by Kurt Soderman, who I give songwriting credits to. He wrote that for the movie, The Wolfman, 1941.
Oh.
It's just made up top of his head. That's all.
Hmm.
Yeah. But it's pretty cool, though. I mean, and it starts the song off into that, and then I don't like. I recite lyrics basically more. You can hear the original version under Scott Rowe and Redrumed Lunar Spell Terrorizer, that video that Brian Mogul put. I might have him try to redo that video with this new version. Take the old one. He put my face on Lon Chaney Jr. and turned me into the Wolfman. That was pretty cool. But you can hear the old version, but then wait till this new version. It's going to blow it away. I mean, it's just going to. There's just so much more that's now we can do with it too. And I'm going to use Celine from Trixie and the Eagle Machine. She's going to do her Evelyn Anchor's Fay Ray scream. I'm going to have her do a couple of screams. Like she's being frightened. We're going to throw that in there. So there's some stuff we're going to do this. I can't wait for Sunday when we record this.
Well, that brings me then to. I got to ask you this question then, because we are getting close to the end here, so I have to wrap it up. But I do want to ask you, what can people expect from a Redrumed show? Let's say one is the show. What could they expect to see and hear when they come to a Redrumed show?
Well, last few shows, I think we're really developing more and more. It seems like we're just getting better and better. Unapologetic death life metal. It's like I like to describe it, because everything is all there, but it's melodic. It's fun. It's entertaining. I got a great band behind me, and I'm getting more confident on who I am. I'm gonna entertain you the best way I can, because Saturday I can't wait. I got a big show Saturday, Cornucopia 61, my 61st birthday party. And
Great.
The 5 other bands on the bill are all female fronted.
Oh.
I don't know how that happened. It just happened,
Right.
Yeah. Well, Empire Desire, they're my headliners. See, with Cornucopia every year now, I'm going to pick a headliner, and Redrumed's going to be in support of them, and then I'll build the show all around it. So that's how this started. Last year was Sectus was my headliner. That was the first one, Cornucopia 60. This year, 61. Next year, it'll be Cornucopia 62, 63, 64. Let's see how far I can keep going. Hey, Alice Cooper 76 and getting ready to go on tour with Rob Zombie. Come on. Right. I think the metal, the hard rock, everything just keeps you, keeps you young, keeps you vibrant. My stuff is not easy. It's not easy to sing, and I'm still learning. But man, it's getting more aggressive. I mean, my drummer Matt. I mean, he just brings that. And it just brings it out. And the rhythm of Rob and Doc. I mean, to me, Redrumed is the best thing I've ever created, along with Matt, Rob, and Doc. Become such a tight unit. And but the last show we just did, the chili cook-off, the sound man comes down and goes, "Wow, I didn't expect this," and people not walking out that were there. I mean, we had a good crowd, and great cook-off too, man. Johnny Frankenshred won first place. It was an actual heavy metal chili cook-off. Yeah, Johnny Frankenshred won. Yeah, his chili was really good. I gotta admit. Angie Miranda from Slut, hers was really good too. I mean, wow. When
not only shred, he can cook.
Yeah, we had 9 entries. Great. August 10th, we're going to have the.
The thing that you mentioned about the a band being together and kind of working off of each other, that is certainly probably one of the most important things that you can really do, because obviously, if a band doesn't function as a machine, it doesn't work well, and it's good that you have that going. Yeah,
let me bring that up. I'm glad you brought that up, because technically we've been together. Well, Matt and Rob, myself, the three of us, been together going on 6 years next month as we started. But we got Doc just 4 years ago. Now he's going on now from that point on, in the last year or so, about almost a year and a half. Or so we've been Redrumed now because I figure
Mhm.
some bands take longer to develop than others. You ever notice that? Some bands come right out of the gate and go wham, Some just
Right.
takes longer. If they stick to it, stick together, and that's what we've been doing. I've had the same rhythm section for that. It should tell you something. You know, and now having Doc and the unit, how we've been coming, and I've been improving, especially this last couple of years. It's been a game changer.
Yeah.
And we got new songs. You know, uh, I mean, there's a new one, Brick in the Face. I mean, this one is a slobber knocker, I guess you might want to call. Oh yeah, wait till you hear Brick in the Face. So we might debut that March 2nd. It's coming along really quickly. And then we also have Death on Borrowed Time, which is about death looking for love. You know,
Hmm.
death that takes time off. So nobody can die.
Right.
Nobody can die.
Wow.
Nothing but pain and suffering till he finds his true love. You know.
Hmm.
That's being developed. Oh, and now the screaming starts. That's in like a drop D, like a cannibalistic corpse grinder, real deep. Has a Sepultura territorial feel to it.
Yeah.
So a lot of new stuff we're working on too. So, but no, but some bands
Great.
take longer than others, and I think that's us. Now people are starting to notice, and I'm starting to
Right.
hear, and I'm getting compliments on my vocals, which I'm really surprised. Believe me,
Well,
yeah,
it's
they play
unique.
this.
That's a
They
good
play this.
thing.
Well, no, no.
You
But
don't sound like anybody. You have a very unique vocal. So
no, I
yeah, it's
don't.
definitely
No,
complimentary.
I finally did. I don't sound like Alice Cooper or singing flat or whatever. I mean, I found me. I think there it was is when the last couple of years of the Alice thing and trying to develop my own thing. It was like fucking me up. It's like who am I
Right.
here? I gotta be. So I had to do. I had to get as far away as I could, and I finally did. Canning the makeup, even the original thing, canning the makeup, canning everything, developing the band. We're more kind
Right.
of a Pantera look image now. And I cut a lot of my hair off. I get the carrot hair because now my hair don't get in my face.
Yeah. Right.
But no, I had to change. My image is changing. I almost shaved my head. Who knows? I still might. Who knows? But I'm just going with what we're doing.
Right.
And we are developing. I think we're that band now where people are taking a second look, going, "Oh my God," you know. And
Hmm.
certain people that never looked at us before are starting to kind of look, oh, oh yeah.
Right.
And we got a lot more coming, man. I mean, we're I'm not going to stop until I can't do it no more. You know.
Well, we certainly look forward to that. And I do want to say, in closing, as a kind of a thank you
Yeah,
to a lot of bands out there, because, I did some shows for you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You've
Are
done
you
a
still
lot of
playing?
music.
Are you still
Um,
playing?
no, no, I'm not playing anymore. I'm kind of doing this. I still got my original music out there, but, I'm going to be recording stuff. A matter of fact, I'm probably going to be recording with Tommy, doing one of
Oh,
my other songs coming out. So,
yeah. I
we're
highly
thinking of
recommend
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
highly recommend
otherwise,
it.
yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I think you really did a lot of promoting for other bands. You're very well known in the area, very well respected, and again, I really appreciate you coming on and doing the show, and I certainly hope to hear a lot more from you. So
Ooh,
we can from years to come to hear you play. So I thank you very
ooh,
much for joining us, and appreciate again all that you've done for everybody. And for everybody else, look up Scott Rowe, look up Redrumed,
yeah,
everywhere, and
yeah,
on Facebook. You do a lot on Facebook, so check them out on Facebook. You can really follow in and see
yeah,
when these shows are coming up.
yeah.
All right,
Like I
so I
said,
appreciate the time. Thank you for everybody.
oh
Yep.
yeah. Uh,
All right. Well, for everybody listening to the podcast, listen to Living in the Limelight on a weekly basis. We are on YouTube and Amazon Music and Spotify, and then of course check us out on Facebook and everywhere else you can. So Scott, again, thank you for joining us. Hopefully, we'll hear from you for many years to come.
Oh yeah, I plan on not going anywhere anytime soon. I guess I could say
Very
that.
good. All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Appreciate your time.
you
Thanks.
got it, brother. All right, bye.
All right. Thank you for joining our Living in the Limelight podcast with your host, Anton Scholl. Please feel free to comment, like, follow, share, and subscribe. And also add us to your playlist on your favorite streaming sites. Thanks again for joining, and we'll talk to you again next week.